Welcome back. My name is Dean, and it's the end of the week. Which I fucking love Fridays. I was saying that to someone earlier today. I'm like, we work every day, like 7 days a week, but for some reason, Friday's got this psychological advantage to it that other days don't. And we like to kind of grind it down because we sometimes take care of real serious business during the week. So we reached way back today. Lynn's is in the house. We've got Lachlan Cross in the house as well.
I'm here too.
That's what I said. Lachlan Cross is in the house as well. And another fellow who joins us. And this is kind of fucking cool for me because he's the first person I ever interviewed at The Edge when I got there, a radio station in Toronto years and years and years ago. It was like 21 years ago. It's got to be. Please welcome to the program, tech evangelist and tech celebrity. Please welcome Marc Saltzman, ladies and gentlemen. Marc Saltzman.
Thanks so much, guys.
There he is. Salty. Right. There he is.
Nothing like the sound of two people clapping.
Yes. You know what, Marc?
I'll take it. That's all right. Awesome.
I don't want to shit all over your appearance here or the contribution you will have here in the next hour. But you're the first guest that hasn't been a doctor all week.
Oh, no pressure.
You'll be
all
fine.
Right.
An academic doctor too, Marc. Like we just had we had Mosscrop on this. He had like 12 postdoctorates or like, holy fuck.
More initials than you know what to do with, right?
Yeah, it's weird. But happy to have you here nonetheless. And it was funny because we follow each other on Twitter. You were the first person I ever interviewed when I got to The Edge. And we kind of talked about that. Do you remember that? Do you remember it was like 20 years ago and it was like a 5-minute interview and they're like, hey, can you interview Marc Saltzman? I'm like, who is that guy? And they're like, he's our tech guy. Yeah. And then you came in and I'm like, oh my God, he's like the nicest guy in the world. And he's like, hey guys, get ready for this new thing coming out. It's called a Blackberry. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah, no, I do remember. We were chatting earlier in the week, Dean, that when I started, I remember the day you started at Edge 102. I happened to be there recording at that time we called it Cyber Escapes with Marc Saltzman. This new thing called the World Wide Web. And I just happened to be there recording with Rob Johnston, the producer. And I remember them walking you around and you were shaking hands with everybody. You were the new morning show guy. Yeah. And and I said the same thing. I said, he's a mensch, man, like nice guy, totally professional. And so we go back 20. Yeah, that was really early. I want to say 2000, 2001, something like that. You would know.
Yeah, but it was 2001. Yeah. It was April 2001, as a matter of fact. So it's almost like, Jesus Christ, it's 21 years ago, right?
I hate the sounds of that. When I think 20 years ago, I think, 1987 or something. Mm-hmm. The fact that 20 years ago was 2002 is disturbing.
Well, you did the right thing because I got into a dying industry 21 years ago and you got into tech right when there was no tech. And so there's tons of upside for you, not a ton of upside for people in radio. But at the same time, dude, like when you got into tech, like
again.
He's still in the radio.
Shitting all over him.
But you got into tech like
all over radio again.
Before everybody else, right?
Like there were tech journalists when I started. So I started in 94 reviewing video games.
Was there tech or was it just video games?
It was more games. There was some tech, like there was computers in the early days of laptops that were like, the Backbreaker 3000.
Yeah.
They were really not portable.
ThinkPad. Remember
right.
Yeah.
But no, personally, I started just reviewing computer games. I was sick of paying $70 a game. I didn't go to journalism school and I wasn't a comp sci graduate or anything. I went to U of T for psych because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was hoping my band was going to work out. I was the drummer and manager of a band called Remedy, but I wanted free games. It was kind of like a scam. So I just called like video game companies and said, I'm going to review your games for this like really big Canadian publication. They don't know. They don't even know where Canada is on a map, a lot of them.
Right.
So they would start sending me games. And then some started to say, hey, can we see your review? I was like, oh, shit. So I forgot about that part. So, I found Toronto Computes was a local, if anybody's watching in the GTA area, this was a dedicated newspaper about computers and the internet. They had boxes on the side of the street, like beside Toronto Star and Toronto Sun and all that. So they gave me a shot being an inexperienced journalist. That makes sense, right?
Perfect. That's right.
I just learned on the job. And then I branched out from writing to radio, where we met, and TV, and then the movie theaters for a good almost 11-year stint.
That's where I recognize you from. That's when I logged in, I was like, hey, it's that dude from the movie theater.
Why am I craving popcorn all of a sudden? Yeah, thanks. Cineplex. It was a great gig. 2008 to just before COVID. Yeah, December 2019 was my last segment. It was a 1-minute spot called Gear Guide before the movie started. It was at the end of the pre-show near that game, Time Play. If if you remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was good while it lasted. Yeah.
I had a friend that did a similar gig when he worked for Samsung. He used to do the tech minutes in the theaters as well.
Sweet.
Paul Daco. Yeah. Good.
Oh, I remember Paul.
Yeah.
I interviewed Paul on one of those segments.
Then
he went to Huawei, and then he's at another tech company. Good guy.
Yeah, super good guy. I went to high school with him. Great dude.
Yeah, it's funny because every time you go to the movie, so Marc Saltzman's our guest at Marc Saltzman at Marc_Saltzman, Marc with a C. MarcSaltzman.com is where you can go and check him out. We're going to get into kind of the full offering of what you do as an independent journalist and a guy who faked his way into a fucking killer career,
that's
by
awesome.
the way.
Yeah,
Just
you basically scammed your way into a career.
That's awesome.
True.
That's fucking great.
But you got the chops, right? Like you don't just
good timing.
This is it's timing, but you have to have some foresight. Like you got into reviewing tech as a joke because you wanted free video games, which I think is fucking great. That's traditionally why everybody gets into podcasting too, right? Maybe we can get a case of beer out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've obviously created a mini empire or an empire of this. Like you write for USA Today. I think you're in 108 newspapers. You got a syndicated radio show. Folks, if you haven't listened to it, it's called Tech It Out with Marc Saltzman, airing 100 times a week on radio stations across the U.S. Yeah, that's right. Tech It Out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tech It Out.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's my U.S. show, and then in Canada, it's called Tech Talk. And many of the same guests, if it's relevant for both markets. But so I know you were joking about radio dying. But no, you believe it or not,
joking.
People still. You weren't joking?
No.
People still tune into the radio. Maybe it's just for a quick hit to hear what's going on with traffic or local news or local sports, weather. But I still love radio. But yeah, it's a podcast as well. But
Marc,
sure.
you're allowed to like radio. Just because shit's all over it, you're allowed to like it.
Speaking by a man who's got a wall of CDs behind you.
Fucking right.
Love it.
Well, it's not the only
MP3s
thing.
don't sound as good as CDs still. We took a step back, folks, in quality.
What from LPs to CDs?
I agree.
From CDs to MP3s, we took a step back.
Yeah.
We're trading quality for convenience. I love Spotify and Apple Music where you can use your voice with a smart speaker that costs $29 to ask for any song you can think of. 70 million songs. That's awesome, but the quality is not as good as
Wouldn't you say though that like those? I think Amazon offers that Ultra HD now, and
Apple,
or is it Apple? Yeah,
lossless stuff. Yeah, Amazon may have one too, and then there's Tidal, which they also said, hey, we want better quality, and Neil Young was part of a whole thing. For most people, they don't care, and if you're listening to it on a $29 speaker, you don't care. But
you're not going to be able to hear the difference on a $29 speaker. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start there with a little bit of tech. Before we get into that, I wanted to ask you about smart speakers, and then we'll get into quality. But this is what Marc does. Go to MarcSaltzman.com. He's a journalist, author. He wrote Apple Watch for Dummies, which is fucking incredible. He's authored 16 different books all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn as well. And, of course, his public speaking and webinars. You go there if you're looking to have someone do some public speaking for you, or if you want to get in touch with Marc. Absolutely, dude. My pleasure. But you mentioned smart speakers, and I mentioned something the other day about on this very program. We were talking about what age do men start wearing diapers and about incontinence. This is about 6 months ago. And for the next 3 months, I received a steady stream, a very steady stream on my laptop of advertisements for male diapers.
Yeah.
Are our smart speakers listening to us, sir?
So the companies say no, and it would require a lot of bandwidth to upload audio from everybody's smart speaker. I think Amazon alone has something like 200 million device, Echo or Alexa powered devices. Just to handle that kind of bandwidth, we just don't have it. That's my visual look of information going up to the cloud. But it is a little too coincidental, right? So what I think is happening is that there may be some apps that you have on your phone that you, without realizing it, granted permission to use the microphone when you're using those apps. So even if you're on, let's say, Insta, and you put it down for a second, and if you agree to let it record, they're still collecting data without question. Or if you type something in a search engine in a web browser, that's why I always recommend a VPN, a virtual private network. It's a small piece of software that lets you browse anonymously. It's as if it's not you on the internet at all. You're logging in from a server in another city, so it's as if you're not even in, for example, Vancouver or Toronto, what have you. So yeah, that's the only way to be truly anonymous. But yeah,
Mark,
it is a good
is there a good
sequence.
VPN? Is there one we should be looking for?
I personally
do you use it? Do you use it for more than porn?
Some people have it on all the time. I don't. I use it when I browse the web. I don't use it for like email and stuff like that. But to answer your question,
Google, shut Pornhub off.
Yes,
please.
there you go. The problem with the free VPNs are twofold. One is that they can kick you off mid browsing session, which is not good if you're at Pornhub.com and or Pirate Bay or whatever you're doing where you want some privacy.
Sportsbay.org.
Littleboyswithbigtoys.com. What? Then there's the other issue is that ironically, while VPNs mask your identity, so no one knows, like your browser can't see what you're doing, the government, your internet service provider. The problem is that if you're not paying for it, somebody has to pay those engineers for all their work. So what they may do is anonymous. They'll sell your data about where you're going online. It'll be anonymous. So it's not like Dean Blundell goes to blank, but they'll collect that data and they'll sell it because it's worth money to know where people are going. So you don't want that to happen. So you want to go with a VPN that has a zero log policy. So I use NordVPN is my favorite. It's a couple bucks a month. Yeah, NORD. They're one of the biggest in the world, and they've got very strict privacy, protocols and stuff. So
how do those guys make any money then? A NordVPN, obviously, just from you downloading their app. Oh, okay.
So you have to pay for it. It's not free. It's kind of like an antivirus program where you pay per year. It's like an annual subscription.
Yeah.
And there's maybe other revenue streams, but they do not sell. They don't log your data. They don't know where you're going. Even anonymously, they don't collect or sell or save any of that kind of stuff. The problem with the free stuff, like there's a free one that I tried that, it would kick me off all the time. Like, well, what's the good of that, right? Another reason why people use VPNs is because you're logging in from another collection of servers around the world. Like I can log into servers that start in Chicago, for example, is that you can access content designed for that country only. So if you want to access US Netflix or BBC, without living in England, you may not be able to stream BBC online. Or people in Russia who want the truth to what's going on in Ukraine, they will use a VPN to make it look like they're logging in from London, England, but they're actually in Moscow. Right.
So have they been able to actually stop people from using VPNs? I heard that was a big rush like about a week ago. Like Putin's like, hey, listen, we got to prevent people from seeing the truth because the truth is pretty gross.
I could see like Putin on the call with who's the president of China?
Xi.
Yeah, it's like, so how do you do that again?
Zing, what's that?
How do you do that? Because they've got lots of experience of it.
Putin's got Zing as his tech guy.
Tech support. It's a good visual with the
He's listening right now. I have a Huawei phone. He's actually listening to the show.
Restart it. Putin. That's not left mouse click, not right mouse click.
Reboot.
Vladimir, you listen.
That's fun. Vladdy.
Yeah, because China's like been able to fucking block everything out, and in Russia it just keeps coming in like a sieve.
Punch
That's
this
all.
code in, Vladdy, and I'll be able to take your screen over.
That's it.
Did you unplug it?
3,
unplug it and plug it back in.
Right. Reboot
9.
Yeah, because and that's what and it's funny because I didn't even consider when the advent of the internet came out and you started doing that gig back in 1994, and when the internet came out, did you spend a whole bunch of time trying to convince people, hey, listen, the internet's going to be a big deal, you should probably pay attention to it?
Yeah. And that's how I got on Edge 102, Dean. Like you guys were this was before your time. They were headquartered in Brampton.
Yeah.
And I remember driving out from my home in North York to talk to the PD at the time. Was it Stuart Myers?
Yeah.
And I convinced him to give me a 10-minute show called Marc's Web Watch with Alan Cross. So every Monday on the Alan Cross radio show, they let me have 10 minutes where I called in I was a bill collector at the time, calling people who didn't pay their credit cards. Really fun job. Being called an effing Jew all day. That was really fun. We had to use our real last names back then, so that was really
Excuse
fun.
me, did you ever call me?
Yeah,
I don't remember if you ever called me.
Anyways, they gave me 10 minutes to call Alan, and it was like, I remember telling him what an MP3 was on the air. So yeah, I was like kicking and screaming, saying, guys, the internet this is so cool. And I know you think it's nerdy because tech became cool, but I think largely due to Apple and iPods and all that in the early 2000s, it was not cool when I started. Video games and tech was not cool. So I was trying to convince magazines like People and USA Today and Yahoo to let me write about tech. And they're like, it's like a niche little nerdy thing. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Yahoo got it, I think, right? Because Yahoo, obviously. But yeah, many of the other sort of, traditional legacy media had a lot of trouble knowing what to do with this content.
They still don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. It's
fine. No offense to radio.
Actually, if we're comparing how media adopted social media and tech, the radio did a pretty decent job. I remember back in the day when newspapers were like Twitter, you can only use 132 words, and then they got buried by it, right? Like, if you're comparing television and radio and newspaper, as traditional forms of media and how they adopt, how they moved into these new areas, radio jumped in, and they had to. Like, we were talking about,
if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. We were talking about podcasts early on, right? Like,
so were we. We were making fun of them. Like, it was like one of those things when someone had a podcast, they left the radio and you got a podcast. And that was like 10 years ago, Mark. Like 10 years ago, do you remember people in the podcast industry? Like, I left the Edge, had to be almost 10 years ago now, maybe a little less,
really?
8 years ago, something like that. And I walked out of the radio station, did one podcast, and it was #1 in Canada because podcasts were nothing. Like, nobody was watching.
Because it's about content and about personality and about the brand, which is you.
Totally.
Right? No offense to Edge 102. I don't know who their morning show is now, but I did then because it's you, right?
It's true.
You carry, and even your predecessors like Humble and Fred and those guys.
I don't even know
when you have
who the morning show is on the Edge right now.
Yeah,
nobody
does.
Saying.
Yeah. Here's what's cool.
Thing or something. I don't know.
Sorry, was that right?
No
idea. Some B team thing or something. I don't even. You're right. There's no face. It's so bland.
What's cool about it today, though, compared to when I started in the '90s, is that I was at the mercy of a radio station program manager to put me on the air. Now with podcasts, it's free. You just need a $50 microphone, free software like Audacity, and you're off to the races. Right. Same with TV. You don't have to wait for a big US or Canadian TV station to give you a show. Just go on YouTube. It's free. And you get to monetize it directly if you get big enough. And same with writing. I had to wait for newspaper magazine editor and magazine editors say, here you go, here's your column. You don't have to today. There's blogs. That's what's amazing about tech. Is that it's liberating and it's the great equalizer. Right.
Do you find that that's a great point, and do you find that like that power shift has been, there's been the sea change in the past couple of years, and I would say the pandemic kind of did that too. Mark Saltzman joins us, tech evangelist at Mark Saltzman _Saltzman on Twitter, Mark with a C. But like, it is the evolution of that power center. So back in the time when you're running around to radio stations and local newspapers saying, hey, I review tech, I review the internet, can I do something with you? You literally had to go to somebody to have them do anything for you, right? Like, your effort to be able to get that content information out came from somebody else. You had to convince somebody else that you were going to be of value to their ecosystem or whatever it was they were going to do. Now the power shift, and it'd been kind of creeping up on us for a long period of time. You saw traditional media lose a bunch of revenue. You saw some equilibrium in that digital space, ad space. Like, you saw some of that money shift hands, and now it's to the point where not only is there not equilibrium in the ad dollars portion of advertising when it comes to radio or traditional media and digital media, but the amazing part is, and I read it this morning because I'm doing some business with some guys, and we were talking about traditional media, and I'll just read this to you because he sent it to me, and I was just fucking floored by it. It's a fun stat. Canadians don't trust traditional media outlets. In fact, in 2022, 35% of Canadians trusted traditional media, down from 38% the year before.
Wow. Yeah.
44% of Canadians put faith in journalists. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has that been tech's responsibility, or is that the lack of foresight in that traditional space?
Yeah, I think so. What happens with traditional media is you follow who you're most aligned with, right? Is it a right-wing publication, a left-wing, a centrist? Culture. And then similarly on the internet, it's like, you're in a vacuum where, you follow the people that agree with your opinion of whatever the trucker, I've read a lot of your stuff, Dean, of course, on the whole thing in Ottawa and everything. So, you and then it reinforces your belief, like, see, like, it feeds what your beliefs are. So I don't know if I think tech helps. There's just certainly more options than ever before when it comes to, even audio, like Sirius XM and podcasting and AM, FM, and there's no shortage of content. So you can still, but I think it's the same, to answer your question, is that you still will follow, if you're, whether you're watching CTV or CBC, they're very different perspectives of the same stories. So,
but I'm talking about it from a producer standpoint, for you or for someone like me back 15, 20 years ago, for Lachlan, for Ryan, if you wanted to be a producer of content, you had to take it somewhere to do it. Now, I understand the culture shift and the struggle between the dynamic of, that outlet embracing this culture, that, traditional outlet embracing that culture. But it's, the brand awareness and the brand trust seems to be with people.
That's right. Rather than the platform. Yeah, I agree. It's the people that you align yourself with. If you're a sports fan, you're going to follow someone that you like, regardless of what network they go with. So I think people are gravitated to a personality that they can align with. And, again, Dean, you're a perfect example of that, regardless of the platform. And kudos to put this under your own, for you to take control of all of this, right? Instead of lining the pockets of executives and shareholders of these legacy media companies, which, again, truthfully and transparently, I still work with as well. But you've adopted your own platform and you're reaping the benefits of it because people, they know good content when they see it and they know who they align with.
I think we always have done that. I don't think that's... Dean, you're making it sound like this is like a revelation, like this is something brand new that's happened in the last 2 years, that people gravitate towards, personalities.
I think it just sped up because of the tech. Like I didn't know what Zoom was 2 years ago.
The pandemic was the great accelerator. Sorry to answer, I didn't address that part of your comment. We were already on this path of this digital lifestyle, but I think that the COVID accelerated it. Things like a work from home or a hybrid work environment, learning remotely for students. Certainly things like what we're doing right now is like every day that we're looking at this Brady Bunch screen, right?
Yeah, it's bizarre that this is live. I mean, that's a crazy thing. No, what I meant to say is I think we always have, regardless of what platform they were on. I think we aligned ourselves with personalities with what we were looking for from a content perspective. So 20 years ago, you may not have had a podcast on in the car, but you were listening to somebody that you appreciated. Now, what ends up happening is, for whatever reason, people get fired, people realize they can do it on their own. It doesn't matter, but those personalities, those big brands, have taken some sort of control over their own over their own brand, and they said, okay, well, hold on.
And many kick themselves for not doing it sooner. When you realize all the benefits, right?
So Dean draws this massive audience across Canada, but if we threw him back on fucking radio, he would. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying, Dean? We've always followed people that we appreciated. We've always followed talent.
Yeah,
we've always been attracted to those big brands, those big personalities.
Right.
They just happen to fucking moved over to podcasting or other formats, right? I think that came first.
Ryan, you go, and then I'll pop in. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, no, it's okay. I was going to say, I think the issue now would be the going back to that traditional platform, especially like if we're going to use Dean as the example. From what the content that he does here and we do with Dean here, to go back to traditional radio, I'm sure he'd see a following follow him back, and then realize, oh, this isn't at all what I was enjoying that he was doing online. He's restricted now. He's
I was just going to say that same word. Yeah,
it's and I think it would fall off. I think it would fall off more than build at that point,
because now they've had a taste of what Dean can be like, unscripted and uncensored, and not that he's like this radical.
Those Edge days when you were scripted were awesome, eh?
Yeah, they were the best.
well, which some of the more,
because they've had a taste of you outside of any sort of restrictions, right? To go back is going to be limiting your personality and your
you can be yourself. Like Locke brings up the point, like watching this whole thing with the Convoy, which you brought up, and I know that's kind of how we reconnected. Is you're like, oh, Dean's alive. I didn't know that, because we were doing the stuff about the Convoy. We talked about that. He's like, I didn't know where you were until the Convoy, and then all of a sudden here we are. But like it's those events, right? Like people will come to trusted brands to be able to gather that information.
Yeah.
It's it's the same thing with you, right? People come to you because they trust that you're going to give them great information about tech, about gadgets, about VPN, about a way that you can make technology work for your lifestyle. And you're that trusted voice in that space. But, you can be that trusted voice on your own, which you are. Like, you're kind of a pioneer. And you mentioned Howard and Fred, Humble and Fred, a little earlier. Great guys. And Humble and Fred were like legitimately the first cats in this country to go, let's just fucking do it ourselves, right? And for some reason, there's always been this idea in people's heads that, you're only going to be capable to do that gig or make some money or be this effective communicator if you do it on behalf of someone else. And because of tech and because of the pandemic and because of culture and because of the economy and because everything has shifted and that power dynamic is now literally sitting with independent creators like yourself that have been doing this for a very long period of time, it's got to be weird, no? Like going, oh my God, the world has kind of come to me now. Like you talk to Howard about it, and he'd say the same thing. I would say the same thing too.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point, but it can be really daunting though, going from a structured sort of legacy media on your own as you have, because you now have to wear multiple hats. Before you were just in charge of content, but at least until you get to the point where you can hire a team around you for social media, for producing the podcast, for biz dev, right? You now have to do it all. And that's not for everybody, right? So a successful morning show DJ like yourself or Howard and Fred, that's now going on your own is scary because like, it's like the rug's been pulled out and now you're like, oh, I got to make money somehow. I got to feed my family. Now you have to do it all, which is the new way, and not everybody, when you were on the radio, you're like, here's your, you did your thing and you weren't responsible for selling ads on Edge 102.1, right?
No.
Now you got to do it all. That's the problem.
We talked about that yesterday, actually. That's funny that it's exactly what we said yesterday.
Yeah, sales hat.
The producer, and the producer hat. How you would say, I had somebody else punch my buttons for me.
Yeah,
Now
get my coffee, park my car.
Really? I can see him throw his keys.
I was just such an entitled douchebag, dude. I talk about that from time to time too. Yeah. But I'll tell you what is that this revolution has absolutely beat that out of me, along with several other things. Because you're right. Like if you want to be successful in this space,
there's a list of things.
There's a list of things that have been beaten out of me. But if you want to survive in this digital space, and if you want to survive in this new world, you have to do your own billing. You got to chase down your own interviews. Like you're one of those guys. You do everything, right? Like you do
I'm a
absolutely
one-man
everything.
company. Yeah. Aside from my mom, who's a retired bookkeeper who helps me get my receipts ready and all that from my accountant, I'm a one-man business, for better or for worse. It's not like I'm a control freak, but I just don't know how to. I can't delegate.
I think they call that being a control freak, actually, not being able to delegate.
It's just I have so many different balls in the air that I can't teach somebody because it's all not one template. Like I know how to invoice this company and I know how to massage that editor's, not literally.
Yeah.
But I couldn't teach it because
it's not going to judge here, Marc.
25 years of experience, right? But for better or for worse, I don't want to sound stubborn. Like
you don't.
I can do it all on my own. I could be that much more successful. However, whatever measuring stick we use, if I just stuck to creating content, I didn't have to chase people who weren't paying or whatever. But I like all of it.
Marc, I've been sitting here struggling with this. You're the tech guy. We have a lot of respect for you. And we all know that if there's something new, you probably not only had your hands on it, but you probably know how to work it better than anybody else. Can you explain the printer behind you?
Can I explain it? Yes. This is radical, folks. This is an Epson Eco. I feel like I'm doing my spiel.
Okay. Please do.
That's
the Eco Tank.
Epson Eco Tank. You're right, Brian. And why is it cool? Do you ask? Well, you have enough ink that lasts up to 2 years. So you pay more for the printer, but I hate being nickeled and dimed for cartridges that are almost as expensive as the printer that always seem to run out at the most inopportune times. And then you've got to go and drive to the store and pick it up or order it online, whatever. So with EcoTank, you get enough ink in the bottles that lasts up to 2 years, both color and black. And then when it is time to buy more ink, they're big bottles instead of little cartridges. So they're also better on the environment because it's less e-waste, less waste. And then it lasts another up to 2 years. So I love EcoTank. So it's one of those, it's a regular wireless printer scanner copier, but it does take bottles and those are the levels in the front that show you like what levels
you're at. Is that the Shaq one?
Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal is their spokesperson in the States. They're one of
For
my
some reason, I
sponsors
don't
in
trust
Canada.
Shaq.
Full transparency.
Yes.
Epson is one of my sponsors in Canada, but I genuinely love their products.
Isn't it like $10,000 worth of savings for ink?
Oh,
they
I
say.
thought you were saying the cost of the printer.
No, and like
isn't that printer $1 million?
It's about $259 to start on the low end, whatever. This one's a bit
Holy
more.
shit.
So like, you could get a printer for $99, but
Yeah.
again, I hate when you run out of ink. I have the peace of mind knowing that if my daughter wants to print photos on demand, I'm not going to be like, ooh, photos, really? Like how many?
Are they
use all
color?
my CN.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, Shaquille O'Neal's her spokesperson. Yeah, you save whatever. It's good on the environment, good for your wallet, and good if you're busy. The last thing you want to do is have to go out and buy ink. That's my whole thing. I'd rather pay more.
A lot of money here today, Mark. I'm buying a new fucking printer.
Yeah, you have to if you want to make. And I'm like you too, right? Like I embrace any tech that says you don't have to go out and get more tech every 3 months.
Yeah.
Like if it's that's for me. What do you have that like as right now that you're looking at? What do you have that you're going to be reviewing? What do you have that some people might not know about that you're super excited for? And then I got a couple questions about tech that might not exist too.
I want to show them a couple of things on my phone.
Yeah, Locke's got a couple great tricks.
A couple things that are out now that a lot of people don't know about, and then I'll show you if we have time some things that aren't out yet. So this is from SanDisk. It's a wireless charger that you would put your phone on to juice up wirelessly. But what's cool about it is that it also backs up your phone, like your photos, your videos, and all that. So you put, I don't know where my phone is here. So you just put it on top like you normally would, and it's plugged into the wall. I just don't have that part here. And then it wirelessly backs up all your photos and videos. So if you lose your iPhone or your Android, everything's here. There's like storage inside, and then you can also buy an extra memory card if you want, but there's enough in there to match your phone. You buy the storage that matches your phone. So it's called the SanDisk iExpand wireless charger. I think it's the most underrated gadget. Because ask anybody who's lost a phone that didn't back it up to the cloud or whatever, all those memories are gone. You'll never get them back. Yeah, so this is really cool. Yeah,
dude, and that's the thing is it like the one thing everybody shits their pants about when they get a new gadget or they get a new device, right? Is like, oh, I got to transfer everything from that phone to this phone. So that not only charges your phone, but it also sucks the latest information, backs it up on your phone. So let's say the next day you lose your phone, you have to go get another one. You can just set it down on that cradle, that charging station, and boom, your phone is your phone again.
That's right. You just install the SanDisk app, and that's it. And then it just backs it all up on here offline, so you don't need the internet.
How much is that?
This starts at about $79 for like a low amount of storage. But if if you take a lot of photos or shoot 4K video, which could be pretty big, it goes all the way up to like 169 or something. So it's a wireless charging mat that does also the backup for you. Which is cool. Really cool. Yeah, I really like that guy. What else do I have here? This isn't out yet. This actually, I'll show you something that isn't out yet, but in a moment.
This is so cool. Let's creep. I fucking love this.
We'll do that in a
so
second.
much.
This
is just like having the movie theater guy in our
podcast.
Yeah, right in our fucking.
Enjoy the show. Turn off your phones, folks. This is a smart mug from Ember. It basically keeps your coffee or tea hot for hours.
Shut up.
And you can control the temperature. There's an app that goes with it. You can adjust different lighting colors, but it's basically a coffee mug that keeps things hot all day because there's nothing worse than taking a big gulp of coffee and it's ice cold and you got to nuke it, get away from your work.
It's gross.
So yeah, this is from Ember. So this is I can't remember the price, but yeah. So there's a little light. It's color coded based on the temperatures and all that, and there's a free app. That obviously
that's is it a travel mug too, so you can take it with you? Can you?
I stand corrected. There's a top for it, but I don't have it with me. It's in the box somewhere. But it's more for like stationary use.
What's that worth, Mark?
You know what? I don't know. I should have researched that before our segment.
That's okay.
I know. Look, my wife is already in the comments. She's on her way home.
Yeah, I see. By the way, you guys have such awesome listeners and guests.
Yeah, we do.
I'm reading all the comments, by the way. If I look distracted or if I look like I have a lazy eye, it's because I'm trying to multitask and read the amazing comments, by the way. So,
I got to turn it off because I find it's
distracting.
It's so busy.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's from Ember. I don't know how much it costs.
That's cool.
It's going to be more than a regular mug.
Let's do a little Price is Right.
I know.
I got $59.99
without going over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do those sound effects.
But that's what you just said. So two things, right? Like this is what I love about Mark. If you follow Mark, and by the way, you got to follow him on Twitter at Mark_Saltzman. C Mark is C with a C, not a K. Because the things you review are, where people say put words into works. You're putting tech to work. Like it's like the pain in the ass that so many people have to deal with, where it's backing up your phone and you lose your phone, or whether it's like going.
I
to
like
drink
tech that has a
and
practical purpose. Sometimes it's a bit, fun and not that like these are not going to change your life, but there are $49 wireless earbuds that are the smallest in the world. They're from a company called Nexigo. So I'll just show you how. So that's a charging case. So like AirPods, but much less expensive, and they work great. So I don't know if you can see how small these things are. Like you don't even see them in your ears, and I just dropped them. So case in point, they're so small. I could have used that for this because they're Bluetooth. I can just wirelessly pair it to my computer that I'm talking to. I happen to be wearing wired earbuds just because it's live and don't want to take a chance. But these are great. Nexigo, they're like $49 or $39.
Significantly cheaper than those
significantly
Apple AirPods.
Cheaper, and they're good, decent battery life and decent audio quality. Not going to blow you away like a $400 pair of Bose or Klipsch wireless earbuds, but for the price, it's pretty awesome. Some of the more fun articles that I write are dollar store tech, like things you can find at your local dollar store that you'd be pleasantly surprised to find.
Like what? Give me an example of something you can get at the dollar store where, like, if you're in a pinch and you need some tech, you can go grab
a
it.
wireless mouse. Or a wired mouse if you want. It's great to have in your backpack just in case. Cases, stands. I have this. Where is it? It's right here. I'm going to grab it. It's an iPad stand. It's really cool. Hold on.
That you got from the dollar store.
I was hoping he was going to put the Mickey Mouse ears on.
Dude, I'm a big dollar
store. So it's like a cushion. It's like a tablet cushion for $3. You can unzip the outside and then wash it.
Bitch.
So it's great for FaceTime and stuff. So it just fits your thing. And it's like a little cushion, or on your lap on the couch if you're feeling lazy as AF and you just want to like recline. It's like a soft. This is from the dollar store. And this tablet's not out yet. It's called LumePad, Lume. You won't be able to see it because you need to see the effect, because you need two eyes to see it, and this is one camera on us. But it's a 3D hologram like Android tablet, so you may get an idea of what it looks like.
We can see it now. Yeah.
But to me, I can assure you, it looks like it's coming out of the tablet.
Oh my god!
So you can watch videos with this stuff. And
what's it called? What is that called?
LumePad, LumePad.
LumePad.
It's from a company called Leah, Leia, and it's coming out in the States in May. And I don't know about Canada, but you can watch YouTube on this thing, or movies, or play games, and it's like mind-blowingly, like it's like a hologram, but you just won't get the effect on. And they know that. They're like, we would love for you to talk about this on TV, but no one's going to get it because the TV's one camera.
That's so cool.
So if you watch TV on that and it's 4K, sorry, the LumePad. I'm back to the LumePad because I just looked up the thing online and it's like it's incredible. So if you watch TV on the LumePad, you're watching 3D TV for
it's kind of like, do you remember those? I'm dating myself here, but those posters that where you let your eyes blur a little bit, you can see this like 3D effect come out. They were big stereography, something.
There was always a dolphin. It was always a dolphin.
It was a dolphin or like a pirate ship, and you had to go like this to see it.
It's the same idea. So
and there was always one person that could never do it.
Me. Had that one friend.
Oh, look at that! Do that again. You can see it again. Do that again.
So it's hard to, but you get the idea. It's like 3D.
See, I don't see the fucking dolphin.
They're harder.
Dude, what's that worth, Mark?
It's $299 US, so it'll whatever, $399 Canadian, something like that. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's cheap.
So there's some cool stuff, and then this I charged it up. I have like this Rubik's Cube like thing that is got 24 screens on it. So there you go. See how it's got different screens? So it's called Wow Cube, WOWCUBE. So you land on a game, and then you tap on the side to start that game. And it combines the physical with the digital. So there's 24 screens, right? There's 6 sides with 8 screens per side. And they have deals with like Space Invaders and Cut the Rope and all that. So this is one of those games where you have to like pair up to get to, it's like 2048. Remember that app game?
Yeah.
So it's the equivalent. So this is really, it's a video game system.
That's a Rubik's Cube. It's not a video game system.
It's a different company, but same idea. It's called Wow Cube, and you play games on it. It could be video games, puzzles, or word games like a Wordle, but you're still rotating pieces and all that, and you're solving puzzles. So there's like a ton of games built in, and then there's a companion app that lets you wirelessly sync new games to it. So so one of your guests, Rhiannon, said she's followed the YouTube, the WoW Cube folks online, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is neat. So it's not out yet.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
How do they even do? Like, I don't even know.
Sensors.
How that
No
works.
buttons. There's no buttons.
So it's just you charge it wirelessly.
Yeah, you charge it on this little stand here. So this plugs into the wall, and they're like these wafer thin chargers. So you just put it in like this, like you put it on top, and then it slides down, and then you charge it up.
It's a new toilet game, Dean.
Yep. Yeah, dude.
That's a shitter cube.
I have a
shitter
cube,
dude.
Oh my goodness.
I would love that because I don't know if you know this. We talked about this yesterday. If I don't take my my iPhone into the bathroom with me, I don't have a great experience. It's everybody's got a shitter.
Keep
game.
an iPad in your magazine rack. Keep an iPad there all the time.
Oh, that is one of those fucking tech solution if I've ever heard one.
The Loom thing. Yeah,
with a splash pad, for God's sakes.
Disgusting.
Flash guard, I mean. Yeah.
You can only read the shampoo bottles so many times.
Okay, so what is now you've shown us some really cool shit, but like what has someone sent you something where they're like, we got to get this into Mark Saltzman's hands? And you open it up and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I'll be honest with them. I don't do reviews as much as I used to, like with a score and everything like that. But I'll say to them, look, I really don't like it. So just a heads up. And, sometimes I'll say, look, I don't have to write about it. It's like I get to choose what I write about this week for this, certain publication. Mm-hmm. Would you rather me not? Because it's going to be scathing. Some say, I don't care if you like it or not. My job, like in public relations, is to have people write about it. Whether you like it or not, it has nothing to do with me. I did my job. Right. I got coverage in the Toronto Sun or whatever, right? Others are like, please, Mark, don't write the review if it's bad. They're going to fire me. So then I decide what to do. Oh yeah, it's harsh. These poor PR folks are, they know when it's garbage too, by the way, but they can't tell you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens, but I don't really do reviews as much. I do a lot more like how-tos. Like for example, instead of writing a review of a TV, 10 out of 10 for this new Samsung TV. That's what I do when I write. That's how I write.
You do that with the hands? Yeah, the jazz hands.
Instead, it's more like 5 things to look for in your next television. Right. Or 5 ways to optimize your TV ahead of Super Bowl Sunday. Like how do you get more out of it? So a lot more like practical tips. I write like tech tips of the day on social media, ways to get more out of your gadgets and gear.
Yeah, that's the thing about Mark that I love so much is that it's everything he talks about is incredibly practical and it's geared to people that need to use technology to make a little bit of a difference, make their life easier, make things more fun, which a lot of people don't do. A lot of people just look at stuff and go, this is this, that's that. You know what I mean? But Mark, you really legitimately care about this shit and you can see like genuine applications for it, which is why you're, one of the best in North America.
Thank
obviously.
you. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, I love when it can do something practical. Obviously, something like a game system is fun, but there's, I like when there's things that you can actually use. And my whole approach to tech is what I call breaking down geek speak into street speak, right? I'm just as much about demystifying tech as I am celebrating it, if you will.
Can you demystify the Playboy Mansion for us? I know you've been there several times.
Yeah, so I wrote for Playboy magazine. People read for the articles. Come on.
Right.
I used to write for them till 13 years. 2010 was my last year. That's kind of like when the freelance budget said it was like it was no more. So they couldn't hire me. Because all the places I write for, I don't work for, like in-house. I'm freelance. So yeah, Playboy was a good gig. I got that gig because in early 97, I wrote for CNN.com, later to go on camera with them, which was fun. Thanks to Peter Kent, who wrote, he was in broadcast and then a politician. He wrote a lovely email about me to somebody at Turner in Atlanta. But long before then, I was writing articles for CNN.com. And I predicted that MP3s were going to revolutionize the industry. And I had a lot of naysayers back then saying, including the head of the RIAA, the Recording Industry Association of America, said, we're not worried about this. It's a couple of hackers. We're not worried about people selling CDs in a kiosk, in Hong Kong. I'm like, you don't get it. It's way bigger than that. So the editor at the Playboy remembered that I had sort of predicted this was going to happen long before, Sean from Napster was on the cover of Newsweek or Time. So that opened up a lot of doors. So yeah, writing for Playboy was fun, and it has some perks. If you thought getting free video games and gadgets were fun, getting invited to the Playboy Mansion, I think that trumps it all. Yeah.
So did you meet Hef? Have you been?
I've met him a couple times. Yeah, I've got a photo somewhere here.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, so yeah, I've met him a couple times. I know I'm like name dropping, but yeah, I met him the first time I was there. It was during the day. It was not a party. People were just like playing, tennis and stuff like that. And they gave me a tour of the grounds, which was cool. And I happened to meet him. Here's a picture of me and Hef right there. Look much younger back then. So I'm sorry for the tush on the right side. I should just scroll in so you don't see that.
What tush?
No,
can you scroll out? I need to see the whole thing. That'd be great. Oh, there you go. There's
and the Toronto Star ran that article, and I was like, I came back home to Toronto from LA, and I was like, my friends were like, dude, you are an effing hero. Yeah. So I look superimposed. It doesn't even look real, but I assure you I met him. So yeah, that was a party, so writing for them, it was great. I've been there maybe 6, 7, 8 times. And I'm not stupid. The guy that ran the grounds, his name was Hank. I think he's retired now, an older gent, had kids and grandkids who played video games. So every time I would go to LA, I would say, hey, I'm going to be in town. Can I drop by? And he's like, sure. And I'm like, of course, I took care of the guy. I brought, a bag full of games for the guy. So yeah, that was fun. So it's fun. It's a nice, fun perks too. I've interviewed lots of celebrities over the years, like Snoop Dogg and Iggy Azalea. Look how short I am compared to her. Holy!
Is she tall?
I'm a towering 5'5" myself, 5'6". Yeah, she's very tall. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So also there's Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Look at name dropping here.
Look at you with Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being a rocker, being a former rocker in a metal band or alternative rock, hard rock band, that was really cool to meet him. So there's Snoop Dogg. I probably offended some gang with those fingers. I don't know what I'm doing with my feet.
You're doing the Crips sign with them.
Yeah, right. The Crips. I know I upset somebody. So that was fun. Yeah.
Did you get high with Snoop?
I did not. But he was. I'm sure I didn't see his eyes in that segment, so I'm sure he was pretty baked.
No
shit. Just a guess. I don't know.
You ever think when you started you started emailing those video game companies when you were like 25 years old asking for free video games? Do you ever think, my God, this would lead to me going to the Playboy Mansion, meeting Katy Perry, Iggy Azalea, Snoop Dogg? Do you ever think that?
No, wasn't a techie growing up, Dean. Guys, I was like a rocker. Music was my passion. I could care less about even games. Like any other teenager, I would pick up, Mario or whatever. But no, I was all like really into music. And no, I would never have dreamt that it would turn into a career where I'm writing books about video games and gadgets and apps. And yeah, it's been a really fun ride so far. Hope it continues.
If I type in Remedy into YouTube, am I going to find anything?
No, we predated the internet, and I have stuff that I've yet to upload. No, but so I don't have anything of Remedy. We opened up for the Tragically Hip, which was our biggest gig.
Oh wow!
Dean, you may know Jay Gold, the manager of the band. So he gave me a shot, which was great. We opened up for them, and then we opened up for the Goo Goo Dolls. Opened up for us twice.
Oh shit!
Which was
wow.
Cool. And I interviewed Rain Maida last week from Our Lady Peace. We opened up for them.
Rain's been on the show a few times.
Yeah, he's super cool. But speaking of the 90s, I do have this clip of me on Canada AM introducing the Blackberry to Canada. So take a look at this. This is, I don't know if you have audio with this sharing.
Yeah.
But have a look. This is pretty funny right after this little commercial. Here we go. This is amusing.
Do we not have audio for that?
No, I guess not.
Yeah,
Can you turn it up on your end?
Sure.
Well,
Look at that with that mullet. I was rocking a great
mullet.
Pause it.
You gotta pause it. Pause it for a second. Pause it.
Okay.
Look at that fucking hair and
that mullet. I'm trying to pause it.
That's like like Lachlan's beard and Bud.
Okay,
so that's the original Blackberry. That's the first. That's you. Oh my God.
That's one of the first times. That was 98 or 99 where, I'm showing, I'm introducing it, explaining how you can get email on the go. Like not only can you receive an email, but you can reply.
Yeah, this was before it was even a phone.
Let's listen to you talk about it.
So it's two-way and it's very cool. It works
You
all
guys
across.
have like fingers like Stuart Little though.
When I first saw this thing, I thought that it would be really difficult to type, but it's pretty intuitive actually. It's laid out like a regular keyboard, and you can also customize a message yourself.
Look at that, the early days. I don't know why someone didn't tell me, why are you wearing a sweater on TV? What's up with that? Actually, fast forward to 2022, and I think I'm wearing one right now. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
You just don't tuck it in.
I just lost the mullet. That's all.
It is so odd that we're talking about the original Blackberry, because I literally had this conversation 2 hours ago in my office at
See,
work.
your phone was listening.
And then you showed up. This is hilarious. We're transitioning from iPhone to Android in our entire organization, and we were talking about, I miss Blackberry. And I said, did you guys know that it used to just be like a two-way text message thing? And they're like, what? And I'm
Before
like,
it was a phone.
we were Googling it and everything. And then this just surreal.
Hilarious comments from your viewers, Wade and
I've got
and Ashley. Yeah.
I've got a quick question for you though. And I think you probably get asked this a lot. And that's, what do you think is like something that's majorly like something we don't know, that like say a cell phone, something that we because we got to be underutilizing every piece of tech that we have.
Yeah.
And you're the guy to figure that out. So what can you tell us? Like I've got a Huawei phone and I've got an iPhone. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what's something that was mind blowing that I don't know about?
I would say not enough people use their voice to dictate what they want on their devices. It's so amazingly fast and accurate. It's 3 to 4 times. So not one particular feature, I would say. I will give you a demo of one feature, but I would definitely say not enough people talk to their device by hitting that little microphone button. People they struggle with trying to type text and notes. One of my favorite features, which works with iPhone and Android, is an accessibility feature called Speak Screen. You could have any text read to you, like while you're driving or whatever, and it's pretty like a human-like voice. It uses like Siri. So all you do is you have to enable it first in settings. This is an email that I just got from Disney. It was just my latest email, like a press release. You take 2 fingers and you swipe down from the top of your iPhone or iPad, and it'll read any text to you. So let me show you what I mean. Sorry, I closed it by accident. I'm trying to multitask here. It'll read any text to you by just swiping 2 fingers. So let's see if that'll work.
From Walt Disney Studios Canada Publicity, address 3:44
And you can adjust the speed, the voice.
Man coming soon to Disney Plus in Canada. Image 001. PNG. The Old Man coming soon to Disney Plus in Canada.
And it'll highlight the text for you.
Novel of the same name.
Holy shit.
Drama series.
So, and all your emails, everything that you want to do, you want to have you can, here's the hack actually, that'll save you money. Turn any ebook into an audiobook.
Oh,
so you're driving, right? You've already bought the audiobook or you're renting it. Just swipe down with 2 fingers and it'll read to you while you're driving.
Oh
so
my God.
Through your Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's
wicked.
wirelessly or CarPlay if it's plugged into your phone. So somebody asked Alyssa. So it's called Speak Screen. You first have to enable it once in settings. So go to your iPhone or your iPad settings. It's called Speak Screen. Swipe with 2 fingers down on any text. It could be a web article. It could be an ebook. It could be your email, like I just gave you an example of, and it'll read it to you in plain English. And you can adjust the speed or the voice. You can change the voice. So that's one of my favorite underutilized features. So you can multitask, right? You're walking through an airport, but you still want to hear content.
That's
awesome.
Incredible. Like that's like I always use the, like you say, the microphone feature to dictate texts. Constantly. Like I never, because I've got sausage fingers, right? So,
yeah, me too. It's good to review it before you send it, just in case. I had a cold just before COVID, and one of my best friends is named Mitch. And I'm like, hey, Mitch, whatever. I sent it to him and it wrote, hey, bitch, because my nose was itching. Like, hey, Mitch. I was like, oh, shit. So, yeah.
You know, what this will clear up for me is every time I say fucking, it turns it into ducking. Right? Like every single time I text.
You can go into the settings and say, change ducking to fucking, and you can do that yourself.
Can you really?
Yeah. So even if it thinks you type D, it'll always override it with your change.
Holy fuck, dude. Just having you here to do the whole Speak Screen thing was like the greatest fucking event of my life, my podcast life. I appreciate you being here.
Similarly with Siri, you can say, let's say you have a friend name. So we have one of the comments is from an Alyssa, but let's say it's spelled Elissa, which it is, but it's pronounced Alyssa, but Siri says Alyssa. You can actually say that's not how you say Alyssa, and then Siri will say, well, how do you say it? And then you can correct her. So if you have any friends, or if it says turn left on Spadina Avenue, you could say that's not how you say that street name, it's Spadina. Then she'll correct it going forward.
Well, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's I'm glad that you worked out that one. That could go wrong. Yeah.
Well, he's worked out more than that. Lachlan, I'm going to hit the tech music, and we'll let Mark go because he's been with us and been generous with his time. Marc Saltzman, marksaltzman.com is where you can find him. Wonderful guy, like Canada's tech guru, tech evangelist. If you're looking for information about how shit works or how to make shit work for you better, Mark's your guy. But Lach, go ahead. I got some double tap music for you. This is going to be unbelievable, Mark. Before you say go, watch this.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to share something with you.
He's going to show you how to do your job.
I am known as the tech wizard on this podcast.
Wizard.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. The
back tap.
The back tap. Love it.
Don't pretend you knew about it, Mark. It's fine.
Wait, what was that again? Hold on. I'm going to write this down. What did you do?
You go into settings, Mark.
Yeah, to go into settings, and we'll figure it out
with a
there.
C.
Yeah.
Settings with a C. Thank you so much, guys.
Sure. Marc's awesome. Dude, it was so great to catch up with you. Great to reminisce. I hope we can have you, Mark. Yeah, you too. As always. Great to see you. Marc Saltzman, ladies and gentlemen. What a good dude. So great to see him again. I haven't seen him in like 20 years.
How bizarre is that's your first interview?
Yeah.
On the Edge. That's kind of cool.
Isn't that nice?
And that you remembered that. Yeah.
Well, it was funny because like we kind of connected. Twitter's incredible. Like everybody shits on Twitter and all that. Hang on, let me put my chapstick on because that's not disconcerting.
Yeah,
there we go. That turned you on, didn't it, fellas? Hey, Block? That turned you on, eh, Rhino?
Yeah, I'm
putting on chapstick nice and slow.
Totally hard.
So Mark and I met literally 21 years ago, and I remember he came in, and he had like he had it all going on. He's like that. He's the same person he is now, right? Yeah. Really happy to be around. Great to see. But he was always so excited for tech, and he'd come in and he'd tell you stuff. And every time you saw him, it was like, oh my God, he's like it's like getting fed. It's like soul food when you see a guy you haven't seen for that long because he's always the same dude. Like
he's still like a kid,
happy,
right?
easygoing, really excited to live. Yeah, he's just a fucking great human being and really good at his job. Like, you know, to start reporting on tech and the internet in '94, you got to have something in your brain, right? Because I was still like this. Like I remember when the Edge was like, you need to get a Twitter account. I'm like, no one wants to know what I do during the day. I'm not getting a Twitter account. And they're like, you have to. And you need a Facebook account and you need an Instagram account. And I'm like, yeah, no one wants to know when I'm taking a dump. No one wants to see me eat an ice cream cone at the lake. Like nobody. Fast forward 10, 20 years later, everybody wants to see me eating an ice cream cone at the lake. Every single person. And if it wasn't for Twitter, we wouldn't be here. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, like to have that kind of foresight when you're Marc Saltzman is just fucking up.
Twitter.
Yeah.
The bathroom journal.
They always want to know what you ate. What did you have for dinner last night, Locke? This is Twitter Live.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
They do.
Actually, I was telling Dean that I have figured out that I am good at this. You must have been listening to the show this morning, Ryan, because I did that with Grant and Jimmy. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I have this gift. I can actually tell. It's got to be somebody I know, but I have this intuitive ability to tell people what they had for dinner the night before.
Shut up.
Is it a smell? Is it an odor?
I don't know what it is. I can just sort of
all right, let's try this.
Can you do us?
I can
I'll
do Ryan.
Do me first. Locke.
Do you first?
Do me first.
Hard.
I need to think about yours, Dean, because it's not coming to me right now. But I'm gonna.
Do you need like information
Grant and
prior?
Jimmy this morning. Grant had hamburgers, and Jimmy had leftover soup. I didn't get
I'm
the
a bit
borscht,
of a foodie,
but I got leftover soup.
I'm a bit of a foodie, so I might trip you up. Like you don't know what I had.
No,
there's no fucking way.
I know. You had poutine.
How the fuck did you?
Is he right?
I swear to fucking Christ, that's exactly what we had chicken gravy poutine last night for dinner. You fucker.
That is unbelievable.
How did you do this?
Engineered.
Holy shit.
What the fuck, Locke?
Holy shit. How did you figure that out?
No, see, fuck you. Did you talk to Ashley?
Figure out Dean. No, I did not talk to Ashley.
Ashley.
Dean.
Did he talk to you?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You had ribs. Dean.
Oh my God. Shut up. No, he did not. No, he did not.
I did.
Fuck off, Dean. Did you seriously?
Yeah, I made ribs last
Fuck
night.
off.
How the fuck did you do this? What is going on? Oh my god!
It's my new gift. It's my new gift.
you
I don't even know why
serious?
I have it.
Do you know it was a last minute twist with us. We had leftover chicken, and I said, let's do like fajitas or something. And I'm like, that's too much fucking prep. I don't want to do that. You know what's easy? Poutine. We'll just fucking fry these things, and you're
Make some
fucked.
fries.
What's
Hold it.
wrong with you?
That is fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucked. Because right before I made the ribs, I'm like, maybe I should make chicken.
That's
and
what I
then
mean.
someone was like, do the ribs because you make great ribs. And I'm like, okay. You and I did not talk about this. We did not discuss this. I am not kidding.
100%.
And Ryan, you 100%.
100%.
You didn't tell me you had poutine?
No, sir. Not at all.
How
like,
the
what
fuck
the
do you
fuck?
do that?
I didn't post anything on social media about what we ate last night, so it can't be that.
Gift. It's a gift. Lachlan Cross is psychic only when it comes to what people had for dinner.
This is fucked up.
Yeah.
That is
Try again next week.
unbelievable.
We'll try
You
again.
can't
next
use the
week.
gift for bad.
Oh,
You can
dude, we
only
got to
use
try it on
for
Monday.
useless.
I can't. Yeah, he needs to use the gift for that. That is
Only
a
use-
gift.
I can only use it for useless, not for bad or good.
Yeah, that sucks.
it
Eh?
wouldn't be
That
a
your
useful
premonition
gift
is
that I
all
would
about
have.
what people ate, not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
where
It's a
to
good bar
invest.
trick, though.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Locke? What
That
did
is
you do?
incredible. Look at how fucking proud he is right now. I have
I know.
never seen this guy so self-confident in my life. And you know where it comes from? Being a fucking soothsayer for people's dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing. He's a dinner
I might
psychic.
take this on the road.
he's like great value Karnak.
Dude, yeah, you could go to like you could go to the Canada's Wonderland. You can go to a circus. You could make thousands a day just going like this. Just going like this.
Chicken Caesar.
Chicken Caesar salad. Oh my god!
I'm gonna hit the casino circuit.
It's like Miss Cleo of the new wave. Look at you. Got
Next
me now.
Friday.
I am
the River
fucking
Cree.
blown away.
This is
Kreskin
nuts.
Cross.
Yep.
Kreskin Cross. You
Karnak
can
Cross.
tell the future only when it comes to what you ate last night.
Bim salad bim.
You're probably fucking unbelievable at this right around Thanksgiving and Christmas too.
Yes.
Always
I can
always
nail it.
spot on.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. When you're thinking about what I had for dinner, what was going through your head?
I don't know. I have to just visualize you at your table eating, and then it comes to me.
He looks
I
at
was
me.
at
He
the
says,
table
"Oh, it's a
last
fat guy. He likes gravy and cheese." That's how you
Yes.
got mine. That's what it was.
That's unbelievable, dude.
The more I sit here, the more I'm blown away that he got both of us.
I
like
can't
that's
believe it either.
fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you do that?
End the show.
I'm freaked out.
I am too.
I'm freaked out that you legitimately guessed what we both had for dinner and you nailed it. You didn't even need an extra guess. It was just like you had ribs.
Right off the
oh
bat.
my god! But I was sitting there prior to you guessing, going, if he gets ribs, I need to ask him what's up with his psychic self because there's no way he's gonna know I had ribs.
It's got to do something to do with that yoga. That
And
he
I
does,
pulled
think.
it's got to be.
Yeah.
And I pulled the switch, right? I was gonna do chicken and then I did ribs.
It's my
Same with
chakra
us. We're gonna do
bracelet, maybe.
fajitas.
That's what
My
it is.
chakra bracelet.
It's aligned.
That is fucking crazy.
All right.
Jesus, dude.
Quick reminder, I want to let everybody. I'm so blown away. Can't even fucking.
I was gonna say,
concentrate.
where do we go from here?
I don't know. Maybe we'll just talk quickly about you can donate money to Alex. He's going to be with us on the show. Just a quick reminder, the merch store is open at deanblundell.com. Selected items, featured items, including the Slava Ukraine shirt. Or you can just donate because you're a good
Cash.
human being. Cash right here at deanblundell.com. The merch store is open, and we just added Ryan's Sheeple Shepherd gear today as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So you can get a really cool Sheeple Shepherd shirt. It's a sheep swearing. It's the best.
You know what, guys? We're still selling that Ukraine shirt. I swear. I think we had another 3 or 4 yesterday and a couple when
Yeah.
just before we jumped on, I went on and looked, and we're still selling that shirt like hotcakes. So
awesome.
That's awesome.
We'll have we have another week. What's the date? The 22nd.
Yeah.
We have another week and a few days.
All right.
Because we're going to shut it down at the end of April.
Mhm.
Do the math and then send them a check. So Yeah.
And then we might amp it up too in May again with something else for Alex. But this particular promo is over. But go get the Slava Ukraine shirt. Go donate Dean Blundell shop. Sorry, Locke.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We do also need to talk about hang in there, because as we close in on the playoffs, we only got a week of the regular season left. We're going to be doing the GOAT gear. We got a promo code coming. Okay. So I got to leave myself a note to remind Scotty to put the promo code together so we can launch that.
We got to make it something really cool and funny.
What, the GOAT gear contest?
No, the promo code.
Yeah, we were bouncing around some ideas.
Or something.
Yeah. Lick my taint.
Lick my taint
for 10% off.
Yeah.
Lick my taint.
Niner, sixer. Speaking of hockey, Leafs lost last night 8-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassing. Matthews didn't play. Jack Campbell didn't play.
What's up with Mouthmerkin there?
You know what?
Slowly
Relax.
sliding down.
No, relax. He's gonna win it all. He's fine. He's just taking some maintenance days ahead of the playoffs, so he's not all banged up. Same with Jack Campbell. He was banged up a little bit.
Sounds like a bit of a wimp.
But I didn't watch the American feed, the ESPN feed of the game last night. But, oh my God, Leah Hextall, Canadian broadcaster, was involved in the broadcast. And is she getting dragged today? And I've seen this like all year long, where you've got like mouth-breathing, crazy hockey purists that have a major problem with women doing the games. I don't. I like Cassie Campbell. I like Cheryl Pounder. I like Jen Botterill. Leah, not so much.
But still, she didn't deserve this.
Yeah. So
Cassie,
hang on, go ahead.
Cassie is not great, but I don't think they have the strongest pieces around her. Mm-hmm. That's my issue, because she does the Flames broadcast, and whenever we hear the Flames broadcast, I'm like, oh my God, that's so bad. The whole broadcast is brutal. The in between shit, they're all awful. And I don't think it is. I don't like you. Kelly
just think
Rudy.
The whole broadcast is like the whole Flames broadcast sucks, and it's got less to do with her than it does the entire cast. And
I think she's being dragged down by the fact that it's not a good overall broadcast. I think she's smart, and I think she's got great insight into the game.
Yeah,
it's just whenever I just don't have a lot of respect for that whole team.
Well, you're an Oilers fan too, so that has something to do with it.
It's not that though. And I'm not alone. I've had a lot of people support me in this. Yeah. All Edmontonians.
Well, it's easy, but like a dude, no shit. It's easy for people to shit on it. And one of the things that gets lost in this, right, is the female aspect of it. And it gets lost in here because so many people spend so much time when they take an issue. Because listen, you remember the dragging Paul Romanuk took for the last several years? Every time you go, Paul Romanuk's doing a game, I can't stand that guy. Or the dude that did Leaf games for a couple of years, can't remember his name. First name was John, don't remember his last name. Everybody's like, can't stand that guy. Like, you should be able to not like play-by-play people publicly and not have it be an affront to women or a certain gender, right? That's how I think. Yeah. So let me play you why people are dragging Leah this morning. And she has been, I don't know if demoted is a good word, moved out of the broadcast booth down to the rinkside area where Ray Ferraro does the games. If you watch any games on TSN, he's always standing at the side. Now he's up in the booth. But, Mike Johnson, those guys, the guys that sit in between the broadcasters to tell you, what's going on between the benches and at ice level. So this happened yesterday.
I haven't seen this yet. So I'll give you my blush, my first blush reaction to it.
Okay, here it is. This is Leah doing a little play-by-play of Wayne Simmons and Patrick Maroon chirping each other between the bench. I thought she actually did a great job, but watch this.
And now they keep going. Simmons, Maroon. Here we go. This is going to be a good first rounder if we get there, boys.
Best seat in the house right there.
Yeah. Now he's bragging about how many cups he's got. Love it.
That'll always
Maroon's
trump.
got 3 in a row. Come on now.
So people a little like, overexcited, maybe. Like
it's a little try hard.
She's like, let's go. We're going here. We're going there. Boom. We're happening. But like, if that's her new thing and she's excited to be doing that gig, then we should allow her to be excited to do that gig, and we shouldn't judge her for it. Where she got into trouble, gentlemen, which I didn't have a problem with either, to be honest with you, is when she interviewed Wayne Simmons between periods to ask about the conversation, because apparently Patrick Maroon called Wayne soft. Now, this is the clip. Tim Peel, the fired referee, remember when he told guys he was going to fake penalties? Remember that? And everybody caught it on a mic. He got fired. He had a problem with it. Kelly Chase had a problem with it. A bunch of guys weighed in and had a problem with her asking this question. Yeah. Have a listen.
This has been a very physical contest. I was privy to your conversation with Pat Maroon here in between the benches. I know you guys have a history and have dropped the mitts before. He called you soft. My question is, are you?
You should ask him. We've never dropped the gloves. He's never obliged me before, so I don't know. I don't think I'm the one that's soft.
All right, Wayne. Best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
So the problem that everybody had with it is that she asked Wayne Simmons if he was soft. Now, Wayne Simmons, if you know anything about him, is one of the toughest, nicest guys to ever lace him up. Ever. The problem that Hockey Twitter had with that is that they're like, how dare you not know that Pat Maroon and Wayne Simmons have never fought? You don't know anything about hockey. And then the other thing they have with it is like, why would you ask him if he's soft? And clearly it was sarcastic. Thoughts?
They're just donkeys being fucks. Like, that's all this is. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Stop it. Like, grow the fuck up.
She's a little hard to take. She's a little...
yes, I'll give you
over animated.
Yeah, she's very animated. She's very... And like you said, she's very excited. But you know what? In the same breath, she's trying to make a name for herself. Women in broadcasting, sports broadcasting, have it hard enough as it is. And then you're going to get
that's not an easy gig.
I thought about it like this in terms of like how fucking crazy people were, because the tweets that came after her were actually pretty funny. Like this dude, how is Leah Hextall on the air? My God, is this brutal? Leafs last 8-1. The most embarrassing thing was Lisa Hextall asking Wayne Simmons if he's soft. These are all dudes. This guy comes to her defense. Anyone complaining about Leah Hextall is soft. This is Kelly Chase. He's former St. Louis Blues. So I'm at a bar in Florida. Shocker. Caption showed Leah Hextall asked Simmons if he was soft. I'm sure he was just trying to be funny. But it showed him taking the headset off saying, what? Help me here, because I couldn't hear it. Good morning. Leah Hextall is not good at commentating on the NHL. They should replace her with someone who knows what they're doing instead of giving a job to someone whose entire family is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Now, listen, that is part of it. The reason why she got that gig is her last name is Hextall, but she also does call games, and it is a very fucking hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I wrote about it because there's a piece that we did at DeanBlundell.com. You can read it. I spent some time in the booth with Joe Bone and Jim Ralph doing a Leaf game one night for like 10 minutes, and I got a chance to be on the broadcast. He's like, go ahead and call the game. The nerves, the fact I couldn't see guys with their, I couldn't even see the numbers. I had no idea what was happening, and I was watching the same game they were.
You were probably drunk.
It is hammered. It is, well, like 7 out of 10. I don't have a skill set to do that job. Leah does, right? Number one. Yeah. Number two, can you imagine in a sport literally dominated exclusively on purpose by old white dudes for the past like 70 years? Can you imagine being the only female on that crew walking into that room? It would be almost like Jackie Robinson, and I'm not joking, this is a fucking glass ceiling. Yep. Jackie Robinson stepping onto a Major League Baseball field the first time, right? Now, I get the idea that a lot of you guys,
sports donkey
guys, don't like a female calling your game. Now, do I have an issue with Leah Hextall's voice? I sure do. Would I say I'll never watch her again because I don't want to watch her? No. But I also have an issue with Paul Romanuk's voice. I also don't like hearing Dave Randorf call a game. Those are my personal preferences.
Old Randorf.
Can't stand him. And I like the guy. I know him. Our kids played baseball and hockey together. Like like he'd say, hey, I called the game the other night. I'm like, fuck, I would never watch you do a game in my life again, dude. Listening to you is like listening to someone masturbate with a cheese grater. Painful but amusing. So my point is this. This has nothing to do with gender, but fuck. Here's the question, and I have for you guys. This is kind of what I boiled it down to. Are we allowed or should we give runway to women in sports media much more than we give to the men that we criticize all the time that we fucking say we hate? Do you know what I mean? All things equal?
Are we there yet?
You go first, Locke.
Locke, you're the sacrificial lamb.
Okay, all right. I'll
lead
this.
with your chin.
I used to, on a fairly regular basis, write long emails to TSN about Pierre Maguire. I could not understand why that fucking idiot was on the TV. Like, yeah. I wrote letters to them about a mute function. Like, you got to have a Pierre Maguire mute function that I can set up on my TV. If you're not going to fire, this is the progression of my letters. If you're not going to listen to the guy in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada that can't stand him, then just give me I'll pay for it. I'll pay you $20 a month for a Pierre Maguire mute button.
An alternate voice.
And I've never been more triggered in my life by a human being
than Pierre Maguire.
But I also think that Pierre Maguire is a piece of shit in real life. Like, I got that sense from just listening to him.
I know a lot of people that know Pierre. I know there is not a lot of love for Pierre Maguire in circles in sports journalism. Like, not a lot.
Okay,
so you might be
I wasn't
right.
wrong. Okay,
no.
So I think I was more triggered by the fact that he was also a douchebag. Now, I don't get a real strong sense of who Leah is.
She's very nice.
I don't dislike her from her presentation.
No.
I just think that she needs to relax a bit. Now, I've said that to my wife a couple of times.
How'd that go?
And that doesn't go well. So we still live in a time and age, Dean, where you can't comment.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't have a...
You shouldn't be able to have a thought here. So that's what
conversation about a woman in broadcast, because it is going to be taken one way or the other. There is no easy way of having this discussion, because you're right.
The glass ceiling, like a total gentrified asshole.
The glass ceiling still hasn't been knocked down. I think in broadcasting right now, in reporting from desks, I think in this country, we have stronger female talent than male talent. I'll tell you that right now. There are a lot more women I'd rather listen to tell me what happened in the sports, in sports news from the night before than a lot of the douchebag dudes that are in there, right? So I don't know. I think women are doing a great job in sports, and I don't know the between the bench thing for Leah. I don't know if that's the best idea, though.
Well, she got moved out of the booth to go to down there. So the next move for her is somewhere else
on the street.
I don't mean like out of the rink. That's my understanding. But I think I thought she actually did a good job. I thought she's better suited to do that kind of stuff. And I agree with you. I think there's just certain people that you like and you don't like. Linz, are we allowed to criticize female sportscasters, or should we shut the fuck up and let them learn and give them space?
I think that.
Can't hear you.
Yeah,
there we go. You don't want to talk.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't. No, you know what? You're right. I think if this was a guy, if this was a dude, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd just like, that guy's an idiot. Same as Locke. He'd be like when Pierre would trigger him. I think we have to. And I fucking hate saying it because it sounds so fucking shitty. We have to find a way to introduce it to these people that are so steadfast and dead set in their ways. You have to slowly. You can't just push them into the pool because they're fucking idiots. You have to literally spoon feed this kind of stuff into their.
What was the name of the woman that did the Monday Night Football? Remember that? And that did not go over well. What was her name? That was last year.
This almost seems like a force by the network to try and just like smash it in there, and this is what it's going to cause, right?
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't cause, but it's going to. I'm sorry, that's the reality we live in. This is the world we live in. So my comment is supportive, and I'm fine with it. If you don't like it, change the channel, just like you would with any other.
You're so scared to answer this question. It's hard to even fucking listen to it, and I get it. That's my point.
Right,
That's why I'm really glad that you're trying to skate past this one. Yeah, you great job.
More than me. I thought I was bad. I'll tell you this.
I just
you are.
I feel
you
no.
are.
I don't have. because mine would come across on her side.
Yeah,
it really would. But I'm trying not to do that because it seems like I'm pacifying her, and I'm treating her like she's a wounded gazelle.
Fair.
It's entirely possible that they hired Leah Hextall that had something to do with her name, and she could actually call a game. And so they took a shot, and they said, "Hey, let's give you the year and see how it goes." And it's entirely possible we could be seeing how that goes. Right? That's the other thing.
Okay,
I just don't think like where a guy like I can go, fuck, I can't stand listening to Paul Romanuk and Dave Randor. I feel the same way about listening to Leah Hextall do a game, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's just my personal preference. Nothing to do with
she's
the
a
fact
horrible announcer. I'm sorry, but she's a horrible announcer. Her voice grates on me.
Yeah.
But it's not because she's a female. It's just because she's an idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and so
there we go.
I'll give with one hand and I'll take with the other. And that's
you're really on her side here, right?
I just think she should be held at her merit, and we should look at everybody that way.
I'll tell you what. If you guys want to see more complaints than what Leah got, put me between the benches of a National Hockey League.
I could never
broadcast.
do it. Never ever do
People
any of
would
those.
hate me.
Dude, I don't have that skill set. That's the other thing. Respect the skill set. A lot of these like comments are coming from guys that literally haven't left their couch in 2 years.
Yes.
A bunch of guys who've never played the game, never called the game, never had to survive in this kind of sport. I mean, just from the anxiety perspective alone of a woman deciding to walk into a booth that's been dominated by men in a sport dominated by men for the past 100 years. I give her all the credit in the world. And to 100%. Take the beating that she's been taking on social media, too. I'm trying to find some of these tweets. That ain't it. Maybe this is it. No, that's Marc Saltzman. Anyway, she just legitimately like sat and battled people on Twitter all morning, too. And I give her credit for that.
Did she step in?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. No, then I'm on her side.
Yeah, me too.
Girl. You go, girl.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's great.
I
couldn't imagine,
just block people now. So if she was fighting with them, that's awesome. Good for her.
Like when okay, so you were in the booth with them that one time, Dean, like you said, and that's when you realized like, holy shit, this is a crazy job. Yeah. How do they literally just know who everybody is? That's what I've always wanted to know, because I couldn't know an entire league's worth of numbers. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, they study it, they know it, they read it, they've got cheat sheets, they've got all that stuff. But like, it's a science. So you watch a guy like Joe Bone and Jim Ralph do a game, and it is so weird watching them do a game. Their shorthand's incredible. They're handing pieces of paper to each other. You have no idea how the shit works. It's really fucking a hard job to do. And I got a chance to go and sit with Jerry Howarth, who was calling a Blue Jays game. And again, same thing. Like the sheets he had in front of him looked like something in A Beautiful Mind, like where you're like, okay, I can't understand how that shit works, right? Like it's just you have to give those people in those spaces credit, whether or not they're male or female, whether or not you like the job they do or not. That's my point.
I have heard that some guys, even if you're just doing color, and this isn't just even play-by-play, but there's definitely a rhythm to the play-by-play. And if I was given an opportunity to do it and I practiced it, Dean, you as well, you could probably pick it up. I wouldn't be great at it. I would be adequate at doing play-by-play. The color guys spend hours, Ryan, prepping for a game.
Yeah, with all the stats and all the
practicing names from guys that were born in Lithuania.
Yes, that's the other problem. I can't say half
the
names.
Is who? Did he just sneeze?
I avoid tennis like the plague because I can never say any of their names. That's the other
Russian
part of it, right? Like it's definitely a grind, man. And then the other thing is, this is the world you're dealing with. That's the bigger part of the problem. It's sports donkeys.
Yeah,
and that's it.
That is all they have in their lives.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of these tweets where guys are talking about how much they hate her, like how is Leah Hextall on the air? My God, is this brutal? I think a lot of those guys probably, like to jump on those Twitter feeds to, garner support in the community of other hockey donkeys that are like, oh fuck, why is there a woman doing my game?
Yeah,
shut the fuck up, dude.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Speaking of shut the fuck up, did you see Pierre Poilievre's day yesterday? Anybody?
I sure did.
Ryan wrote a great piece on it. He had his first meeting. So this is the backwoods alt-right super Christian loser guy that's running for the conservative leadership of this country of ours, this beautiful country called Canada. This is this backwoods fucking captain of the Wiener Brigade that seems to think he knows more than everybody. He's an abrasive little fucking greasy puke is what he is.
Jesus Weasel is my favorite one that you've come up with.
He's
so
a
far.
Jesus Weasel.
Jesus
Yeah, that's
Weasel.
all he is. He's like not a Christian. He's a Jesus Weasel. He's pandering to religious people. He's fucking firing up the base with words like freedom. Like he's fucking William Wallace. You know what he is? He's the pubic version of William Wallace. He's just William. Anyway, Locke, you wanted to say something before I
Did you
tear a
know
strip
that
off him?
Steam Whistle was handing out letters
Yeah.
to everybody that came in?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
do
so-
not. Just because we took his money for this, we do not support his
Yeah,
politics.
he's a douchebag.
Do you know there's a story behind
he
that?
fully supported. I want to get to it. So this guy fully supported the convoy, and he still thinks that it was a great idea, even though it was an attempted insurrection. So that's why the Steam Whistle was like, "Fuck, we're not with him." But go ahead. So he goes to Steam Whistle Community Center, or the Steam Whistle Brewery, and he
The
does
Roundhouse.
this big talk, the Roundhouse Center,
Yeah.
and Steam Whistle handed out like pieces of paper to everybody, going, "Hey, this guy's fucked. We're not with him. We just rented the space." Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's correct. They didn't. It wasn't just like a social media thing. They actually handed out physical pieces
Actual
of paper to everybody
physical
saying,
letters, yeah.
yeah. And the funny part about it is the chief operating officer of Sleeman's, or not Sleeman's, sorry,
Steam Whistle.
Steam Whistle. Is his wife is the former one of the former PC
Larissa
comm
Walker.
staffers for Ford. And also has a very colorful Twitter in her support of Pierre Poilievre's campaign that he's currently running. So either they don't talk at dinner, or I think they're lying.
Yeah.
So because I don't think they realized the
people
backlash
hauled
that they
them
got
out.
from
Yeah.
social media, and they literally people were phoning them. People, I heard that I don't know if this is true, but I heard the Rogers Center took out like some sort of a sponsorship, like they nixed a deal that they were doing.
Oh,
Haven't
no,
confirmed
that's
that yet.
bullshit.
That's so fucking stupid. Listen,
That's
here's
bullshit.
the thing.
That
Like,
can't be
I watched Steam Whistle try and cover their assholes, by the way, with this whole thing. Where and you're right. So the COO of Steam Whistle is a dude with a long
He's
European
Ukrainian.
last name. Oh yeah,
believe.
thank you. He's a
Yeah.
Ukrainian fella. Long European last name. He's married to a woman named Larissa Walker, who you've pointed out used to be the head of comms for Doug Ford. So she's a big Pierre Poilievre person, because apparently Larissa, and she follows me, she tweets me. I don't have anything bad to say about her, other than the fact that she's riding the wrong fucking loser, racist, religious Jesus Weasel horse.
Right.
Having said all that, why the fuck are we getting mad that this guy rented the Steam Whistle Center? Like, why are we preventing him? Who gives a fuck? Like, I don't agree with anything he says, but he should be allowed to go and peddle it to other stupid idiots anywhere he wants. That's how this fucking world works.
Yeah.
Right?
I
Like-
agree. I agree to a point, though, Dean. What do you think about places that openly defied mask mandates and vaccine mandates in their restaurants?
That's different.
How is
That's
that different? It's
They
the
can
same
fuck
thing.
off.
It's
No,
supporting.
no, it's way different.
Yeah, we talked about that leaky, greasy tank in Sarnia. You know,
Well, so part of it, yeah, that's one of the things I didn't consider there, and you kind of bring up a great point, which is like, if he was behind the convoy, and if he's behind all the shit that happened with the convoy, and if he was one of the major supporters of that convoy, which was we know is an illegal convoy, and dozens of people have been arrested, and millions of dollars have been absconded. Like, if he was involved in that, which he was, you're kind of right, actually. Like,
That's
part
what
of
I
me
mean.
says any political opportunity that
I
wants
disagree.
to go and hold a fucking thing at the Roundhouse Center, you should be allowed to go and rent whatever. But bottom line is that, yeah, he and John Charest said it. He goes, fucking dude should be disqualified because he fucking supports criminals, and he supported an insurrection, and he supported a group of fucking religious, crazy redneck losers that tried to hang the fucking prime minister. So I guess, right? And that
You know
would
what I
mean
mean?
that Larissa Walker probably is totally cool with hanging prime ministers, as is the people that rented the Steam Whistle Center by connection. But at the same time, I understand the business of it, right? Steam Whistle hasn't sold, I'm sure they sold a ton of beer. They haven't used that event space, which they built to use that event space. Probably wanted to rent it out. Money's tight. The economy sucks, I guess.
Listen, I know. Listen, I know that we have this convoy conversation, and we've had it numerous times. And again, I never supported it. I didn't agree with what they were doing, but I think it's worth saying out loud that the Prime Minister did not get hung. He still is our Prime Minister, unfortunately. And listen, what they did was illegal. But just because you supported it doesn't mean you
illegal,
shouldn't be allowed.
And you're in the government.
Shouldn't be allowed to rent out a hall. And now we all have to stop drinking steam whistle because he rented out the hall. It's just a step too far for me.
So
I am not a Peter Poutine fan at all. I could care less about that.
Yeah, I get it. I get both sides.
But
I get both sides. Look at me. Look at me getting both sides. Look at me.
If you don't need the money and you feel that strong about your political convictions one way or the other, Ryan, and you own Steam Whistle or a hall, and they come to you and they say, I want to rent your hall, you have the right to say no to them, right?
That's right.
Or yes.
Yeah. Or yes.
Or
I find it interesting that they said yes and then handed out notes to everybody going, hey, listen, we'll take the money, but we don't agree with any of it.
That was a protectionism thing because they got hauled out on the carpet.
Douchey.
Right. So they're responding to people. They're a public business that relies on our money to operate. Yeah. Not Pierre Poilievre's money for one event. This is literally a long-term financial decision by a business that was the wrong one. I don't think any business, no matter what you do, should be.
But hold on, that's your opinion that it was
Pierre's
the wrong
money.
thing to do.
So
now it's up to you to not drink Steam Whistle.
You've aligned
anymore.
yourself. You align yourself when. So I don't
with
see. I don't. Yeah, you've aligned
rented
yourself
the
with
fucking
it.
hall.
Dude, he's a Jesus weasel, and he's telling
matter.
everybody that everything is
you agree
terrible,
with him
and it
or
isn't.
not. He rented the hall.
He was helping people occupy Ottawa that all went
How
to
much
jail.
do we know of that? Like,
A
how
lot.
much proof do
A
we
lot.
have that
A
he was
lot.
behind it?
A lot.
Is he dealing with the courts right now because he was one of the organizers,
No.
like Pat and
Not yet,
what's her nut from
but
Red
that's,
Deer?
That
He
inquiry's on the way.
Oh, yeah,
that
dude.
they screamed and yelled about that. I think is the funniest thing in the world. They're literally screaming, there must be an inquiry about the Emergencies Act. Like, okay, you asked for it. Be careful what you fucking wish for because you're about to get it. So
Well,
it should be interesting to see what happens.
And if it does, then it's a different conversation.
By law, it has to happen. So,
Do you know how the whole thing started?
Pierre?
Do you know how the whole thing started? The whole convoy started when Melissa Landsman tweeted that picture of all those empty shelves that was in England. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And we took exception to that because they were misrepresenting truckers to try to gin up support for conservatives and make Trudeau look bad. Do you remember that? And do you remember how we decided and we knew and we did all the research that said, hey, this is a theocratic movement of fucking assholes and rednecks and losers from across this country that just want Jesus Christ to be the reason for the season. And you know how Pierre's a Jesus weasel? He's part of the theocratic bullshit movement in this country. Do you remember this? Stock shelves, thank a trucker. Empty shelves, thank Trudeau. Remember this lie that he fucking helped perpetrate? None of this was shit that he was like, oh, I believe in this movement. He knew it was bullshit.
Hey,
and he
which ones are
campaigned
the
on it, and
politicians?
he used it to become the candidate, which he says he's the candidate for prime minister.
For freedom.
He's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
He is just, let me prove that point even further. Let's talk about them coming out of the Roundhouse Center, okay? Let's talk about that Roundhouse Center evening. So Pierre Poilievre goes to the Roundhouse Center and magically walks out of the Roundhouse Center after he's done apparently walking to his car, and he carries his wife on his back, okay? I want you to listen very carefully to this whole thing because he and the Conservative Party want you to think that this is just a really cute moment behind the scenes, that you're getting a chance to see Pierre and his wife, who we have more information about coming up in a second. Her name's Anna. But about Pierre and his wife having this really beautiful moment. I'd like you to notice the fact that there is a digital camera on the ready, there was a gimbal on the ready, and they were both wearing lav mics. So this was like the most pre-prepared, pre-produced, impromptu fucking moment. That, like, you talk about virtue signaling and how much we hate Trudeau. Watch this doucher.
You know what it's like to stand for hours?
She's been on her feet. She's been on her feet for how many hours?
No, like like 2-3.
2-3 hours in heels.
It hurts.
Does that mean I have to wear the heels next time?
Yes.
Then you're going to carry me to the car.
I can do it. What's wrong with
Okay, we'll see. That's tomorrow's plan.
I thought he only wore heels on Saturdays.
Do you know where he was taking her? To throw her under the bus we're about to talk about. He was on his way to throw her under a TTC bus because that's what he did.
Yeah. Because earlier, 2 days before that, he was asked, he was asked a very serious question. How are you and your wife so loaded? How did you guys get so fucking rich? And doing things that apparently the Bank of Canada has been telling others not to do. You're doing those things. Why are you so rich? Watch him fucking swim for the edge of the pool as fast as he can. Watch this. Oh, and by the way, here's the incredible part of this video. Is as Ryan says, I want you to listen to how when they question his wife's financial portfolio, and there are details in here about his wife's finances, how they question his wife's financial portfolio, he doesn't use the we term, he uses the her term. He fucking throws her under the bus like nobody's business. Watch this.
You co-own a real estate investment firm in Calgary, and your wife also owns a rental property in Ottawa that she doesn't live in. Buying and renting properties as an investment can contribute to increased competition in the housing market. So aren't you contributing to that problem?
No, not at all. We're helping solve the problem by providing affordable rental accommodations to 2 deserving families.
One of them is an MP.
Okay. And as a follow-up, economists have warned Canadians against using equity in their homes as an ATM, and your wife last summer took out a $425,000 mortgage on her rental property. That's nearly twice what she paid for it. Why did she decide to do that?
Well, she followed all of the rules and used the equity that she has built up through a very responsible and intelligent investment to maximize the best interests of her financial position. And my wife has followed all the rules and reported all of her financial decisions to the ethics commissioner as the rules require.
Yeah. What I want you to notice there is her, she, she
my wife,
did it.
She, her,
not me.
My wife. I put a tweet out the other day.
Super brave.
In an old life of mine, I used to do private investigation work for fraud and for WSIB injunction stuff and
private dick.
I used to do a lot of courses and workshops in deception detection. And if you watch this video, it's insane how many tells that he has when it comes to, like, when she asked that second question, that follow-up, and you watch him because he's trying to act cool, he's blowing her off, he's like, yeah, I just totally fucked you on your question you asked me. And then she says, as soon as she says 425,000, he does this. And he's always touching his glasses, right? He's always
Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. I want to see that.
$425,000 mortgage on a rental property. That's nearly twice what she paid for
it.
Wait
for the mouth, the dry mouth. Ready for the dry mouth.
Well, she followed all of the rules and used the equity that she has built up through a very responsible and intelligent investment to maximize the best interests of her financial position.
Her financial position.
Looking down and away.
Because you wrote a great piece on this. Yeah, down and away. Is that part of it? It's like down and away, looking away. And
I'm actually going to do.
What did he do with the money? Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, what did they catch him in here?
What he's done is he's been touting that it's Trudeau's fault that Canadians can't afford homes right now because of inflation. He's calling it just inflation, right? The problem is worldwide inflation.
Actually quite creative.
Yeah, it is, but it's wrong, and it's like blaming Canada for the world's pollution problem. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So and I get it. It's a political thing. He's a fucking liar. They all do it. They all do the same thing. So what he's saying is the Bank of Canada advisors have told people, do not treat your home's equity like an ATM. Don't go just taking money out arbitrarily to put into investments that don't, whatever. His wife had a house, and the house, apparently, I guess what it sounds like, the mortgage on the original mortgage on the house was about $250,000 maybe, because he says they took out a $425,000 mortgage on a $250,000 property, which is exactly the opposite of what any financial play. And you can do that when you have $80 million in the bank because you don't give a fuck. He's the problem. He's the problem that he's blaming Trudeau for being. He's the scummy landlord that's refinancing properties to buy more properties, to eat up a market, to tie it up so that people like you and me or your kids can only rent for the rest of their life. They can't afford to buy a house.
Here's the crazy part is that he literally, every time he makes a campaign stop, he blames Justin Trudeau for the very thing that he's contributing to and doing on a daily basis, right? Like he's saying people can't afford a house. Well, people can't afford a house because people like you and your fucking wife keep actually snapping up properties, borrowing against the equity in your home and doing exactly what the Bank of Canada is telling everybody you shouldn't do. And he's using that argument to hang it around everybody else, including this guy, and saying he's the only person who can fix it. But here's the crazy part: is he's doing.
We're not surprised
all the fucking time. The
they're
hypocrisy is incredible.
Douchebags.
Oh,
they're all douchebags.
Yeah,
they all
That's
do
an
it.
equal opportunity employment strategy for all politicians is to be a douchebag. But what he's done is literally he's the problem, and he got called out on it. And you'll notice the first thing in that follow-up question, his first answer, it's all legal. She did everything's legal. Everything's
is it?
legal.
No, I mean,
it is legal.
I'm
Absolutely.
why everyone's upset.
100%. But
we expect these douchebags to do shit like this. They're all doing it. They all got hands in different pockets and pockets in their hands, and it's the
morality of it. It's him using the moral high ground to go after Justin Trudeau, saying that he's the reason why we can't afford homes. But literally, Pierre Poilievre is the reason why we can't afford homes. Is people like him and what he's doing. So
doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
snapping up properties, borrowing against the equity in your home, with other people's money, the bank's money, and making money off of those things.
Raise your hand if you were surprised that he was a douchebag. Look at him. I mean, he's just like.
I knew he was douchebag before he answered the question.
Such a douchebag. Like, look at it. Look at him.
Such a fucking wiener.
You know what's funny?
I hope he doesn't become the next prime minister, and it has nothing to do with anything he says he's going to do or not do.
But look who we have.
I can't. Yeah, I know they're both wieners, dude, but I can't this wiener has kind of got his hands on the wheel a little bit, and he's got females, really strong women that are running the show for him, which is great. But that guy is going to be such a fucking colossal embarrassment on the world stage, having Skippy / Milhouse be the next prime minister. He's just as embarrassing. Trudeau's just as embarrassing.
Aladdin?
Yeah.
You got it's awful.
All of it.
Sure, but you know what?
Embarrassing.
On a foreign policy stand, the world loves Justin Trudeau. There's a couple of people that don't, and that's the ones you hear about the most. I don't fucking like the guy either. I'm the same as you. I think he's a virtue signaling piece of shit. But you know what? He's doing the job, and people around the world love the guy.
He's a shit too, dude.
I don't know. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know if
they're all shit.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if he's doing the job. I think he's filling a seat, right?
Yeah, right? I'll give you that.
He's sitting in a seat right now.
But would you rather him be sitting in that seat?
I kind of would, because and it's like, this guy scares me, and he scares me because he stands for absolutely nothing other than anything it'll take to get him the leadership, anything it'll take to get him into the prime minister's office. I have no idea what he fucking stands for other than himself and being a fucking Jesus weasel. That's it. Which I can't vote for Jesus weasel.
Projection without a solution.
Jason Kenney running Alberta.
Yeah, I know, but that's your fault, not ours.
Doug Ford.
That's
his
running
your province.
He's a cock too. I get it, dude. They're all cocks. It's like the season of cocks. It's cock
By the way,
season.
if you can go to my Twitter poll and vote, we're gonna get you the final results. They're gonna build a castle for Justin. So if you're upset about that,
they're not building a castle. He just wants to have Sussex.
They're building a castle.
It's not a castle.
It's time to rebuild Sussex with no matter what prime minister's in that. Have you ever been in that building, Locke? It's a fucking shack. It's gross.
It's gross.
You want to come hang out at the Den of Sadness?
Can we finish off the show with a video that I saw this week that made me laugh all week? I know it's Friday, right? I'm not supposed to say the name of the week, but fuck, it's Friday. It's a video
we don't
that made me realize
podcast rules.
We're live. We're allowed to say what day it is.
It's a video that made me laugh because it showed the value of friendship. It really did. Showed the value of friendship, showed the value of staying in great shape, showed the value of what it's like to have good people around you to make your life a little bit better if and when you may get caught in some kind of pinch, right? Now, we all need those friends in our lives.
Yeah.
And in South America, this video came to my attention. In South America, these people stick up for each other. They look out for each other. Not like here in Canada, not like in the United States. Come on my lawn, I'll shoot you. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In South America, if you get into trouble, your friends have your back. Case in point, watch this clip. This woman comes home. She's angry because she thinks her boyfriend is banging someone upstairs. Door's locked.
I think puta is a C-U-N-T.
Yeah, it is. Watch this. Okay. Now, she's trying to get in. He's trying to hustle out his side piece of the balcony. And what comes next can only be described as a...
she got in.
She comes, and here comes his side piece. She's
oh my God!
She's a little person. She climbs off the balcony. They hand her down to his buddies. They're like, "Hey, you got to get this woman out of here for me, please, quick, because my wife's coming home." And so what they do is they take her and then they hide her underneath the box.
Look at this.
This is the greatest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
I don't...
Now the woman has gone in the house, and she is trying to kick that husband's ass, but she cannot find the woman who cheated on her husband with him, and she's looking. Now she comes out. Now the girl in the box is trying to get the fuck out of the way. Nope, now she makes a break for it.
Gone. She's gone. Them little eggs. Go. Go. We're going to see the break again here.
Yeah. Here comes the box. Box starts to move. She's not sure. There she goes.
She's off.
She's
off to the races.
Firecracker. Out of that box and down the road.
Why do I want to hear like? Why do I want to hear like the Cheers music?
Wow.
Everyone needs friends like that, eh?
You know what? That's a community. Like that's the spirit of community right there.
They're healing.
You didn't have any moral assholes there going, nope, Rodrigo's going to pay for this one. They're like, fuck, go get that midget out of Rodrigo's bedroom. Help a brother out. His wife's going to fucking lose it. And they pass her down like she's some kind of Russian doll, too. Just passing this little person over the railing. Like, here's the great part. The demeaning part wasn't tossing her over the railing like she was a doll. The demeaning part was hiding her under a box. They're like, here, quick, get under here.
It was like a acrobat though. When they grabbed her feet, she had that standstill.
Yeah, great core strength.
Yeah. She does
really good core strength. And listen, the wife shouldn't be pissed, right?
No,
she's not 4'1". She can't give him what he was looking for with that little person. Let it go. He just wanted an experience. Yeah. Anyway, be a friend like that this weekend. Be a friend like that this weekend. Okay?
I gotta show that video to Jimmy.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. By the way, Jimmy weighs like twice of what she does.
Oh yeah.
We're not handing him down off the balcony.
Nobody's grabbing him.
Yeah,
he's like the density of a dying sun.
It's probably over, I'm guessing. Where's it?
Oh my God. This is, you know what? I don't think this is staged. She's in her underwear too. That's the best part. Like she's running.
I wonder what he said. I wonder what was being said. I want somebody to translate.
I wonder. We should.
Did she catch her? You see those little steps too, running away from her. It's like she's really got to haul ass to get away from that lady.
That's not the first time she's got handed down off of a balcony though too.
That's why I say she.
That was
perfect.
That wasn't a new situation. They had to do that before. That's why that guy was set up.
That's not the first time she's been passed over a balcony after a sexual encounter with a guy.
Carmelita, make sure you put the box out front of the house before you come up.
Yeah,
just
she
in
probably
case.
showed up in the
She
box.
would have been fine if she would have stayed in the box. Like,
Yeah, no
who's
kidding.
thinking to look underneath the box? Her
Well,
big
dude, I would be
mistake
the
was
same
running
way.
away.
I would be the same way. If I just got passed over the railing, I'd be like, fucking run. She's gonna kill you. Fucking run. Anyway, thanks for the show today, boys. It was a lot of fun.
Carmelita.
That was a good Friday. That was a good Friday show.
We learned some things. All week we learned a
great
lot of
Friday
things this
show.
week.
Yeah, we did. We learned how to use speak to screen from Marc Saltzman. We learned how to double tap the back of a phone. We learned that Lachlan still hates Justin Trudeau, like fucking hates him.
And he's a psychic.
Yeah,
Hey,
and he's a food dinner psychic.
Can I get a retweet from you on my poll, Lindley?
Oh, I'll retweet your poll, baby. You got it.
So weird.
You should hear how we talk on the phone.
Yeah. I shouldn't. At all, actually.
Boys,
Anyway.
doing anything fun this weekend?
No.
We always end on one of those. Nothing?
No. Zero.
Lachlan,
I
you doing
might.
anything?
There's a hockey game tonight, so I'm going to get drunk. There is a new Nicolas Cage movie in theaters that I'm thinking about going. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's got
Where he
100%.
plays a celebrity. Yeah. Apparently, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie he's in called Pig?
Yes.
Fuck,
It's
is that a great
fucking
movie?
Phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
He
Like,
should
if you
have
haven't
been,
seen
he should
Pig, you
been,
have to watch it.
Okay.
It's a great Ryan. It's a it's a foodie show.
Yeah. It's about
Really?
a chef that loses his fucking mind. Yeah.
It's a fucking great show. I
Really?
swear to
Okay.
God, dude.
And he's
It's
a food
really good.
snob like you too. Like he's one of those
Nice.
guys when you sit and you're like, that guy's an asshole. That's why he's no longer in the food business.
You know what?
He's
man?
not as much. You're not anywhere near the asshole Nicolas Cage is in the movie Pig, but you gotta watch it. It's a fucking
Ryan,
great
Drive.
underdog
I can
story.
That
Drive.
movie, I watched that last year when it came out. People were angry that he didn't get a Golden Globe or even a mention. Like people
Really?
were angry about it.
Mhm.
It is
streaming,
the
like
biggest
like on
surprising
Netflix or
movie of last year.
I'm going to write it down. Pig.
Pig.
No,
It's
just get it on
Pig.
one of those streaming services that's illegal. It's super easy to get. Just type in Pig on like Soap Today. Not that I'm telling you to go to it or Prime Wire.
Well,
Don't
I'll
worry
call
about it.
Marc Saltzman. He'll tell me where to get it.
Salty. Yeah. Thanks to Marc Saltz for being on the program too.
Mhm.
Just send us a text. Said he
We
had a
gotta
blast.
we got to have him back.
Yeah, we will. We'll
It'd
have
be nice to have
someone
a
back.
segment with him.
Yeah,
I
we
might
will.
buy a set of those
Those earbuds. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy the shitter cube. I'm gonna buy that one.
Yeah,
The wow
shitter.
cube.
I'm getting the cup for my wife too.
The cup, I guarantee you, is already in our Amazon fucking box because Ashley saw it. And she
Oh,
went,
Yeah,
hold on.
it is. By the way,
Did-
she tweeted
Oh,
about how
I-
much money is like $150 for that. You just spent $150 on a couple of mugs, just to let you know.
sitting
can
here
do that.
with you
I can do that for
douchebags,
my-
and it just cost
my
me
wife.
$170 because I wasn't paying attention.
Well, there's your problem.
Sorry, Locke, what were you saying?
I can buy $150 for my wife for that cup.
I'll use all my merch money now that the Sheeple Shepherd podcast has
Oh,
merch.
dude, you'll
I'll use
only
all
have to
that.
sell 4 billion shirts. Buy that cup.
Ring those phones.
Yeah. Don't forget to go to the merch shop, deanblundell.com. You can check out everything. The shop is right there. We now have Sheeple Shepherd gear on there as well. You can go ahead and get yourself a Slava Ukraine t-shirt. You can donate to Alex in Ukraine as he tries to feed soldiers and clothe people in bomb shelters in Kyiv and get babies diapers and all that good stuff. Alex will be back with us on the show on Tuesday. I want to thank everybody for being here as well. Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. Follow him on Twitter at Lachlan Cross. Ryan Lindley, Sheeple Shepherd podcast. Go and download, subscribe. You can see him on Twitter as well at Ryan Lindley. Thanks, boys. Have a fucking great weekend.
Have a good weekend, boys.
Love you
Talk
guys.
to you soon. See you. Talk to you soon, everybody. That's it for us. Have a great day. Have a fucking great weekend. Really great weekend. And thanks to Marc for joining us. Marc Saltzman. Follow him at Marc_Saltzman. Marc with a C. All your tech stuff. Brilliant guy. And thanks to you for joining us this week. Don't forget, you can sign up for a newsletter at deanblundell.com. We'd appreciate that. You can also check out our sponsors and partners at easyautofinancial.ca. Check them out today if you're looking for financing for a car. Use Easy Auto Financial. They're good people that get your financing full free. Doesn't cost you a dime. No obligation either. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Great Canadian company that'll help you get the car you want from the dealer that you want to find it at. They take care of everything. They're turnkey. Again, no obligation. Lovely people. They just get financing. That's what they do, and they don't want it to cost you, and they don't want it to be a headache, as buying a car can be and doing all that shit. They do all the forms and paperwork. Huh? I'd own so much more if I didn't have to do it. Probably be the prime minister if there wasn't forms involved. But there are. I don't like forms. Thanks to our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports as well. His gits should be on you. They can be on you today. All you have to do is order a pair. Go see him in Markham, edsfineimports.com. Visit him there. Order online. Huge online store. Clothing for men and boys. And he's got his own underwear. It's branded Gitch, Gitch, boxer briefs, pouch in the front. You can't miss. And they're the best underwear you'll ever buy. Trust me. The only ones I wear, Gitch, promo code GITCH3 is your promo code. So there you have it. And Adam and his crew at Domination, we use them all the time. So can you. If you produce content, go to dmntn.com. That content you can feed as a file into their AI, and it'll spit out 72 pieces of content, including promos, etc. Across all the major platforms. You could use them like this, like that. It takes like an hour to 2 hours to cut a promo on your own. These guys take all the guesswork out of it. You don't get one, you get like up to 70 pieces. You'll love it. It takes 5 to 7 minutes, and it'll save you a ton of time. So make sure you use them today. dmntn.com. Again, domination.com. Dominate with your content by using domination.com. Thank you. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Emil. Thanks, Rhiannon. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, DaCosta. I love that DaCosta guy. He's straight edge, by the way. Rob. Fuck, I love Rob. Rob's a good dude. Don't type Rob into Pornhub. Stacy. Everybody. Clay. So many good people in the chat section. Appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. See you Monday. Be safe this weekend. Bye.